Hey, so since we've been talking about endurance, hey, just wanted to real quick show you an elite runner, our one and only, our very own Sarah Neville. She's here with us and she's just going to answer a couple questions. We've been talking about endurance and what it means to really run a race with endurance, to work hard at endurance. And Sarah's just going to answer some questions for us from her perspective as an elite runner. And I say elite runner, I mean, Sarah probably wouldn't want me to say that. But when you're going running for state this week, I mean, it puts you at that elite level. Now she's a senior, and more importantly than that, she's a follower of Jesus. That makes us really excited. And so I've got a couple questions. Sarah's been very generous to be able to answer these questions for me. So I asked a couple of these questions. So let me just ask you this first, Sarah. How long have you been running now? When did it start?
I started running in the summer I was going into 7th grade.
Okay.
So I think it's 5 years after this year.
Okay, so 5 years, that's a lot of running. If you had to guess in the number of miles you probably covered, that would be a huge number, right? It'd be up in the thousands.
Maybe like maybe like just below 2,000 or something like that.
2,000 miles, can you imagine? That's just crazy. So where did that love for running start? Did it start right then that year? Did you fall in love with running, or it was just something you kind of did?
Well, I actually started running because of soccer, because I wanted to get in shape for soccer. And then the coach was like, "You want to go on the running team?" And I was like, "Sure." So the first year I wasn't like super dedicated, but I was just doing it because I really enjoyed it and liked the team.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know it helped. It can't hurt. That's for sure. So when you first started, were you good in the beginning, or you were kind of learning your way through?
Definitely learning my way through. Because the first year I didn't run at states, and I was just running all the JV races, so it was just more of getting experience. But by that, my 8th grade year, I was able to run the state meet, and I was able to run in those varsity races.
That's awesome. Do you remember what your first 5K race, what your first time was? Do you remember?
I actually just looked at it yesterday. I think it was like 23 something, maybe like 23:30 or something like that. I could tell you.
That's still pretty good. What's your lowest at this point? What's your fastest?
My PR is 18:40, and I ran that last year.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. All right, so what do you think it takes? Like, if somebody wanted to get to your level, which I say elite, I have a great respect for that. 18 minutes, that's really fast.
Thank you.
So what would it take for somebody to get to that level, if you just had to summarize it?
Lots of training.
Okay.
Definitely takes a lot of time. Like, I don't know, maybe you could get there in like probably a few years, because it definitely took me a few years. And I think if maybe I constantly trained the whole time, maybe you can get to that 18 a lot faster. But for me, it was taking those summers and then focusing during the fall for the state championship to get faster and stuff. And I think if I had trained in the spring and stuff, I maybe could have gotten there a little faster, but it definitely takes a lot of training and a lot of little things.
Gotcha.
A lot of icing and stretching so that you don't get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's really the message of what we've been talking about through our series through Hebrews, is that there's nothing good that really comes without a lot of work, you know, and even to get to your level, it really does take, I mean, even if you were going to do it fast, it's a lot of miles, and it's years worth of commitment, to get there. That's really awesome. This is just a question I'm kind of curious of, and I think it goes into the idea of endurance. How mental do you think running is? Is there a mindset? Is there a mentality that you have to have?
100%. Definitely, like at the beginning of this season, I just wasn't really there. I had a few races that I just wasn't really feeling it. And then probably like a few weeks ago, I was just like, I gotta stop just doubting myself, and I just gotta go for it, because I know that I have the training to do it. I just mentally have to get through it, and I was able to do better in my races.
Yeah, so you really have to kind of get to a spot in your mind that helps you kind of push to that next level. That's awesome. So tell me an idea right now. What is your training routine? What do you do right now to kind of train? What does your week look like just getting ready for a race?
Right now, if I have a race on Saturday, it would be we would do a workout Monday morning, and then we would do some type of recovery run that afternoon, and then usually we do a small run the next morning or on Tuesday, and then a longer distance in the afternoon, or we go to the gym, and then we do that same thing on Wednesday, and then maybe a short run on Thursday and a short run on Friday, just to get ready for the race.
So a full week full of run just to get ready for that race on Saturday. So even just in the week, it's taking a lot. And so you got that mindset, the commitment, all that energy you're having to put in for a week. That's just incredible. And I think this is such a great illustration. It paints such a beautiful picture to what we have to do spiritually.
Oh, yeah.
That you have to engage every day. You have to know that I'm going to compete at my best today. I'm going to work my hardest, and I'm going to do it at that level. And so I think this is a perfect illustration. So what would you advise, let's say, for the person out there who wants to get to your level, and the person who is maybe doing a little bit right now, but they want to get better? What would you advise them to do? What would you say right now?
Definitely takes a lot of training, and don't get discouraged at first. It can be kind of discouraging, because I know for me, like when I start from being out of shape, it's really discouraging because you really want to run these times, and you can run these times, but don't get discouraged and just keep training, and trust me, it will pay off. It takes time. Some like months of training. So
with the commitment, really that endurance, that mindset, it helps you get to where you need to.
Definitely.
And there's going to be times where it's difficult. There's going to be times where you're frustrated. There's going to be times where you feel like you're weak. But having that mindset, pushing through it, helps you get to where you want to go. Because if you quit at those points, we know the journey stops.
Oh yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect illustration. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your experience, and we're so proud of you and glad that you're gifted in the way that you are. And hopefully you've learned something from Sarah's journey. And as we continue to look forward, pushing forward, and running our race with endurance, we thank the Lord that He gives us the power to do it, and the power to have endurance like Sarah does. So we'll be praying for her this Thursday as she competes for state. So hopefully you've learned something.
Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before Him, He endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider Him who endured such opposition, so you will not grow weary and lose heart.